Okay, so I'm a little late on this video, but yesterday I was super hyper focused on family time. So I did share something I had written several years ago about rewriting our stories, and it ties in with the message for today or yesterday, the 14th day of the challenge, let's put it that way. And the question was like, where are we resisting change the most? Excuse me. So, the high priestess represents dreamers, mystics, intuitively gifted, wise counselors, right? So, thinking in those terms. It's representing those that listen rather than talk. So, if we think about that, how are we resisting change, right? Are we allowing ourselves to dream? Are you tuning into your intuitively gifted self? Are you a wise counselor to yourself, maybe to others? Are you resisting being that for other people? Are you resisting accepting that from other people? So there's a few angles we can take this at, and it's going to be different for each of us. It's really important that we tune into this and understand that, the downside, some things that you may be experiencing that are resisting change would be emotional instability, fearing your intuitive abilities, right? Know that we all have it. We all have the ability to trust ourselves. We talk about this gut feeling that we have. Everybody's gifted with these innate abilities to know what's right for each of us in our own ways, if we listen to ourselves less than we listen to those outside forces. Another big piece of this in the article that I posted that really ties into this is the never-ending story. And with the high priestess and the never-ending story, it's just really important that everyone realizes that influences are at work, even though we can't see them. We have these outside influences that are affecting our personal lives. So know that you're either going to be receptive to these influences or you're going to be resistant, okay? And a lot of the times we become resistant because we're telling ourselves stories that just aren't true, right? And then it's that negative voice in your head that's constantly telling you what you can't do or that you're not good enough, or maybe it's not just the voices in your head, it's things that you've been told or you've seen society say over and over again on social media, which is a topic I won't get into too much, but know who you're surrounding yourself with, including the voices in your head. The never-ending story, it's critical that we pay attention to the things we're hearing and the things we're saying and the things we're hearing and saying to ourselves as well as others. We can't limit ourselves through the past. We can't limit ourselves through the beliefs of other people. Your self-criticism causes unnecessary dramas, okay? And we all have a story woven through our lives that involve hurt, that involve pain and humiliation, maybe arrogance. And then we all have stories that are quite the opposite of all of that. But we have to be able to let those stories go. None of it's true, right? Those self-loathing thoughts are so far from true. The sky is not falling on our heads. A lot of times these voices, these thoughts are coming through fear. And so it's really important that as we reflect on where we might be resisting change the most, just this might be the things that we're telling ourselves. It might be the stories that we're replaying over and over and over. Okay, and this can be happening at work. This could be happening in your relationships. It's it can be happening with your own kids and just all the things, right? So just be mindful of the stories we're telling and know that at any moment and any point in time, we can change our stories. They aren't concrete. They are changeable. We can take a different path at any moment that we choose to. So keep that in mind. Another piece of this is this rune that we've drawn here, and this rune represents the ebb and flow in our relationships, the ebb and flow in our careers, our emotional state, and these all tie together so beautifully. The key to success is in your intuitive knowledge. It's in your mood for your inner rhythms. And it represents avoiding exaggeration and excessive striving. So if you're constantly pushing and constantly pushing, you're not in a state of receiving. You're not in a state of going with the flow. And until you can take that pause and allow things to transpire, you're always going to feel like you're going, against the current, which is not the way any of us really truly want to experience life. So the stories we're telling ourselves is critical, and be mindful of those. Find some good friends that will remind you that the stories you're telling are shit, and help you snap out of it, and help you reframe those stories and remind you of why they're not supposed to be shit. They'll be able to help point out the things that maybe you're neglecting to see so that you can help shift that story. I will share more on day 15, but I just really wanted to be sure to get this out there and get you all caught up for where we're at in the challenge. Catch you later.